Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you another over-the-board game where I played the London system against the Queen's Indian defense. My elo in this game was 15-0 and my opponent had 18-49. So we have a difference of almost 350 points elo. Let's see the game. I've started with d4 and my plan is to play knight f3, bishop to c4, bishop to c4, e3, bishop to d3 and short castle. My opponent replied with knight f6. I've continued with knight f3 and b6. My opponent wants to develop his light square bishop to b7 and control the long diagonal a8 h1. So he's playing the Queen's Indian defense. With this move I'm controlling the e5 square for a third time. I'm controlling with the pawn, the bishop and the knight. And next I want to continue with e3 and bishop d3. Black replied with d6 and it seems that he wants to play e5. I've continued my development with Nbd2, bishop b7 and e3. This pawn move lets my bishop out to d3. Knight bd7 and it seems that black wants to play e5. Bishop d3 and c5. Black attacks my center and I reply with c3, protecting my d4 pawn, and in case black would capture on d4, I will recapture with my e pawn, opening the e file for me, and the c file is open for my opponent. Queen c7. This move indicates that black wants to castle long, and I played queen e2. I might castle short or long. My opponent played e5, attacking the center. I've captured with my d-pawn. He recaptured with my with his d-pawn, and for a second I thought that he can fork my bishop and knight with e4, but my bishop is pinning his pawn to the queen. So I've retreated my bishop to g3 and he played bishop d6, and now I played e4, blocking his e5 pawn. It seems that this e4 move was not mandatory and long castle would have been a better solution for me. For example, if long castle and black continues with e4, forking my bishop and knight, I can capture his bishop, attacking his queen. The queen has to recapture, and now I can take his pawn from e4, and after black is recapturing my bishop, I can take his knight from e4 and in the same time attacking his queen from d4, and his bishop from b7 is not able to capture my knight from e4. And for example, after queen c7 I can give a check and ruin black's castling rights. So long castle would have been a better option for me. So I played e4, and here black is attacking my bishop from g3. And here I should have done the castling, but First I wanted to see where black is castling, so I've played a useful move. I've improved the position of my knight from d2, so I played knight c4. Black captured my bishop and I recapture with the h pawn, and now my rook has a semi-open file. Finally black made castle and I've played long castle as well. Black is defending his center, and here I've decided to reposition my knights. The knight from f3, I've placed it on d4 and then on d2 and then on c4, and the knight from c4 to e3 and then hopping into the d5 square. So here it goes: knight fd2, knight b8 from my opponent. I played knight e3, and now I will play a knight to d5. My opponent played g6, knight d5, attacking his queen, and he's taking my knight. And now I have a pass pawn on d5. f5. It seems that my opponent wants to play e4. I played king b1. It's a prophylactic move, and my king is safer on b1. e4, and here I played bishop b5. I moved my bishop forward. Black is attacking my pass pawn, so I'm defending it with c4. Knight to d7 and g4. With this move I want to get rid of my double pawns, and I'm attacking black chain pawns from h7 to e4. He's played a6, attacking my bishop, and I'm able to go forward, attacking his queen. Queen to c7, and I take on f5. He recaptures on f5, and now we can notice that black has two weaknesses: the backward pawn from f5 and the isolated pawn from h7. So my next move is pretty obvious. I'm attacking his f5 pawn. The rook defends the pawn now, and I bring the other rook on the h file, and I'm attacking his h7 pawn. Black defends laterally with his queen by moving the knight to e5, and here I've retreated my bishop. It's not a good move from my part. My bishop stood very well on c6, but yeah, maybe I was worried that his knight will capture my bishop from c6. Maybe I should have continued the attack on his f5 pawn. Now the knight jumps into a good outpost, and he's threatening knight to f4, forking my queen and my rook. Yeah, in the game I didn't saw this threat. Yeah, in Yeah, I forgot to ask a simple question that every chess player should ask it. What's the purpose of my opponent's last move? So I forgot to see this, and I played bishop c6. I brought my bishop back, and black played knight queen to g7, and he's threatening mate on b2. His queen and his knight are looking to my b2 square. So I played knight to b3. My queen is defending the b2 square, and now black played knight f4, forking my queen and rook. So I saved my queen, and he took my rook. I took his knight, and he played f4. He wants to play e3 and create a pass pawn. Here I played queen h1. I wanted to give a check on h3, but black made a mistake here by playing bishop to e5. He should have continued with e3, creating a pass pawn. But here I gave this check, queen h3, and my opponent replied with king c7, and this is a blunder, because my queen can go to d7, and if the king would go to b8, I can deliver mate on b7 square. This would be possible if the queen from g7 would not be here, and she would not control the d7 square. So I have to distract his queen. So I played rook g5. I'm attacking his queen, and I'm trying to make her leave from the 7th rank. So black declined to take the rook, and now I just capture his bishop. And now black is trying to create a pass pawn, but this is not very good, and he's also trying to open the f5 so he can give some checks. But I recapture on the on e3. He recaptures, and now the f file is opened, and I took the pawn, and it's, as you can see, his two pass pawns are annihilated, and black gave a check, and I can easily defend this with knight to c1. Maybe it was better to give the check on f5 in order to trade the queens. He played rook f7. He tries to defend the 7 rank with his rook, but this is another blunder, because I can cut the communication between the queen and the rook by playing a rook to f3. And after this move, black resign. If he takes with the rook, we have mate in 2, check, king to b8 and queen to b7. And if he takes with his queen, I'm just taking his queen, and he has a lost position. So In this game I played the London system against the Queen's Indian, and both of us made some errors, and in the end I managed to win it. I hope you learned something from this game. Please watch other games from my channel and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Bye.